Item 10D, adopt a resolution appropriating $150,000 from the Stormwater Enterprise Fund for the Madison Slope Stabilization Project and authorizing the city manager to execute a construction contract with ETIC Engineering, Inc. in the amount of $55,716 and a construction contingency of $11,150.
Honorable Mayor, Council members, good evening. I have with me Nader Dahu, who is the project manager for this project. The purpose of this project to prevent property damage. The open space, the sloped open place between Madison and the Bethany Church is owned by the city. Back in 2009, a slide was stabilized at the southern portion of the slope. During the last rainy season, another slide started to develop north from that stabilized southern portion of the slope. To prevent further damage to the slope, the city managed this slide during the rainy season to cover with plastic and then to open that to dry, to facilitate for the soil to dry out during the dry weather to prevent further damage to the slope. Subsequently, Treadwell and Rollo, a geotechnical expert, proposed a design how to fix, to stabilize this slope. Based on the developed design by Treadwell and Rollo, the city went out for a bid. 2 bids were received. The lower bid was received from ETIC Engineering, who is a qualified contractor to do this type of work. Their bid was responsive, and our department feels comfortable to recommend to award the contract, the construction contract, to this contractor. During the construction, the geotechnical expert has to be on site to provide a certain on-site technical oversight for the implementation of the project. Our overall estimate for the cost for the project is $160,000. $150,000. Reason why I am recommending appropriation of $150,000 from the Stormwater Enterprise Fund to this project. Also to award the construction contract to ETIC Engineering for a $55,000 construction contract with a $11,000 construction contingency to accommodate any unforeseen condition on site for this type of project. With this, I am available with Nader to answer any question what you might have.
Any questions of staff on this item? Rico? Go ahead. Again, you want to? Okay.
Well, since it's above the old slide, can you make an assessment of what the condition of the old slide, what that condition is like, and how that repair has withstood time?
When this slide started to develop, our geotechnical expert made an assessment of the section south of this location, and that slope is very stable. The project did work out very well.
Irene?
Thank you. I'm just curious why the other bid was over twice the amount of the first bid, of the bid we're accepting. Was there some kind of reason that they gave, or?
Based on our assessment, can be many reasons. One of the reasons can be that TriNet is less expert in this type of project, and maybe that's the reason why their estimate was higher.
Okay, thank you.
and I realized the first part of the work was done in '09. And I remember going up to and parking in the church, going down, and somehow getting down to the site where they were going in with the holes. And I mean, what they did was quite a bit as far as trying to stabilize the hillside. Now, of course, there was a lot of work that was occurring above that, with apparatus, people coming and going, product being laid there. Did any of that have any destabilization to the site? I'm concerned that if we were already there doing that, is it that we didn't, at that point, maybe look at the larger area and what's to prevent another area from going, because obviously this is like less than 3 years later, that's just now above that initial site.
It's very hard to say. Certainly, this location is just north from where that slope stabilization work took place before. Based on the geotechnical expert assessment, this stabilization work will be much less intensive. How much stabilization needed to be done on the southern portion, this slide just started to develop and was stopped at the very beginning stage of that slide. And this work recommends actually to drain that whole slope to the end of the slope, and that will prevent any further erosion or slides on that whole open space between Madison Street and the church itself. When the prior work was done, this whole area was deemed stable. Reason why the recommendation was to fix only just the southern and the southern portion of that open area where the slide took place.
And has there been notification to the residents on Madison Avenue as far as what's been occurring, the plans, et cetera? Because obviously when the other aspect was happening, there was a lot of concern, a lot of phone calls I know I received, rightfully so. They saw the hill coming down close.
Was a ongoing communication with the property owner below this area and also with the church. The city already entered in written agreement with the church and also with the below property owner to grant us access to build, to construct the drainage down to the main drainage area just behind those homes on Madison Street.
We will provide an area-wide notice to make sure that people who live in the neighborhood but that are not immediately directly affected by the project are also have some information about what's going on in their neighborhood.
And I appreciate that because obviously there's going to be, I know what happened last time and it's a lot of activity. So you begin to wonder and begin to worry.
Before, just also another follow-up, before any construction, the city always has a pre-construction meeting inviting all of the neighborhood, everybody who will be impacted by the construction to that pre-construction meeting.
Questions or comments, Michael?
Is there anything that we learned from this particular situation where we may have missed back in '09 a potential for this to develop, where maybe we can look at other projects maybe more carefully and try to figure out if there is a potential for these kind of things to develop over time where we missed it back then?
Based on geotechnical experts' opinion, wasn't any evident sign at the time of the construction of the first project which would have indicated the need for extending the project site for the whole area. And certainly the cost of prior project was very high already. That was around close to $500,000, the cost of the first project, and really wasn't deemed necessary at that time by any expert to extend the construction to the whole slide. Even if at that time the project itself was also peer-reviewed by another group of experts just to make sure that the city getting the best technical advice, knowing that this type of slope stabilization are the most challenging technical project to really stabilize the slopes. There are many unforeseen factors which can impact the project.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We're just making sure we didn't miss any clues that maybe we could address in the future. My other question is more of a policy one. The funding for this is going to come out of the Stormwater Enterprise Fund. I'm wondering, would it be an option for us to use emergency reserve funds for this and protect the enterprise funds, or is there a reason why we wouldn't do that?
Yeah, that's certainly an option of the City Council. We don't, as Council is aware, we don't have a designated emergency reserve fund or emergency set aside, but certainly you have an undesignated reserve, and your consideration is well understood and well taken, because in fact our stormwater revenues and our stormwater fund generally is, I think it's fair to say, increasingly insufficient compared to the amount and the type of work that the city anticipates needing attention and being stormwater or stormwater runoff related. So that is certainly a consideration that we would welcome the City Council to make. That could be something that you could either just consider tonight, or you could make the appropriation tonight as recommended and take up reconsideration of that as part of your review of the upcoming review of the capital budget in total.
Okay, thank you.
Any action by the council? Michael?
I'd like to hear others' opinions on the funding of this. Any thoughts?
If I could, yeah. I don't know what else is planned, for, when you make mention that, that we may come up short on any other projects in this fund. If we look at that, overall long-term picture, maybe we can make that decision to take it from reserves. So I would be open to reconsider, later on.
Yeah, my comment was really addressed to the longer-term, bigger picture perspective. So it may be beneficial to the council, if you would like, to see at least the 5-year snapshot of what that looks like. But I think in very general terms, you have a very limited revenue source coming into the stormwater fund, which is the it's a very low amount that's collected as part of the property tax.
Around 600,000 each year.
Yeah.
And maybe is our intent to bring forward the stormwater management plan when really will be very necessary, that long-term assessment of the funding for stormwater enterprise. And maybe that would be another opportunity for you to see what is needed for stormwater management citywide.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice amount. It's 150,000. It's not like we're talking about $500,000 or something, So, I mean, I think it's well stated that we, really pay attention to where we best could take the money from.
More comments or action?
I think it would behoove us to go forward with this contract right now. We have a limited time to do it. We can fund it through the stormwater right now. If we find out we need to, we could always reimburse the fund if we find out it would be more expedient to do it that way and more necessary depending on what projects we do. But my understanding of this, we need to get it done before it rains, and so I believe it's a resolution. I'd like to introduce the
To the chair.
resolution to go forward
To the
with.
chair. Just to answer your question that you posed to us, I think we need to go forward. I don't think that's not what you were saying. You were saying to go forward. The manager recommended using the funds that are allocated within the resolution. You're asking, I believe, would we consider funding that through the through reserves? And I'm open to that. I would be open to that because I think this is what they're supposed to be used for. And obviously, we have to prevent this because obviously the alternative is potentially buying some homes, and that's already been done once. So I would be open to that as the manager talked about coming back.
Okay, I'm open to it too, and the resolution has been introduced by Irene.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Salazar.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ibarra.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.